Hello, happy Valentine's Day, everybody. And what better day to talk about hormones and birth control than on Valentine's Day? It's very fitting. I've been wanting to make this video for a couple weeks now, so I'm kind of just excited to talk to you guys about stuff. And I really just am making this video to try and educate people, and hopefully you can learn a little bit more about your own body and maybe something that you're taking or thinking about taking or have taken before, and understand it from a little bit of a different perspective. And I kind of like to tie this stuff into fitness a little bit because that's what I do. And I think a lot of people are concerned about the way that their body's functioning and that kind of thing when it comes to weight loss and getting results and some of that stuff too, because that's a lot of people that I work with and that follow me and that sort of thing. So this video is not to shame anybody that's currently on birth control or has taken it or anything like that. I myself have taken it way a long time ago in the past in college, and I have many clients that come to me on birth control. I never make anybody feel bad for taking it. My job is just to try and educate people to understand how they're going to feel and maybe what it's doing in their system and how coming off of it could help them feel much better and get better results. So let's see what else here. I've had a pretty complex history when it comes to hormonal issues and imbalances. It started at a very young age. Someday I'll kind of fill everybody in on my story and what I've been through, but I don't regret anything that's happened to me because it's enabled me to be my own advocate and have to do a ton of research, a ton of reading, spend a crap ton of money working with naturopaths, doctors, but in that process it's enabled me to see like every side of the story. And I really think the universe brings people to me that have been through similar issues, knowing that I can help them. And I think making this video is just another way for me to share some of that stuff and to try and like get the word out there a little bit more and potentially bring me more people that could also benefit from my knowledge and what I know about everything as well. So I think that's awesome. And I think people get on birth control for a couple different reasons. Obviously, for the one is to not have babies and get pregnant. And number two is to alleviate symptoms that they're having. A lot of people got on the birth control when they were 14, 15, 16, when they first hit puberty, because that rush of hormones spiked up and they had so many symptoms, super heavy periods, anxiety, cramping, bad acne, bloating. And so, you know, your doctor just threw you on that stuff. And I think we're in such a culture where we just need that quick fix and we want to put that Band-Aid on it so we don't have to feel those things anymore. And you know, I don't believe that. I think, you know, and I did it too, but I think the most important thing is to figure out the underlying cause and, you know, why are you feeling those things and what's going on in the body that's causing these things to happen. And so there's so much that you can do instead of just going for that quick fix, you know. And I have clients that come to me who got on birth control when they were 14 and they're like 40 now. Can you imagine what those synthetic hormones are doing in your body for that long? And in a minute here, I'll explain to you exactly what's happening when you take birth control in your body, and why that can create so many other issues. But my beliefs about birth control have nothing to do with religion or anything like that. It has more to do with just the side effects and implications that can go along with that in your body. And birth control really started in the 1960s when all the baby boomers were around their teens. And so you kind of calculate back the timeline of, you know, all the disease we have nowadays and whatever. And there's obviously like so many different things that contribute to that. But I think birth control really causes a lot of issues with cancer and, you know, heart disease and just so many other things. And not only that, but, you know, hormones cause gut issues and anxiety and depression. And you see these people who get on birth control and now they have anxiety, so they get on an anxiety medication, and then they can't sleep, so then they get on sleep medication. And it's like, okay, well, if you would have just tried to figure out the root cause, you wouldn't keep, you know, trying to patch the hole in the bucket to get another hole to pop out the other side to just keep recreating all these issues. So I guess what I want to talk about is just what happens when you take birth control. Your pituitary gland up in your head is what controls your hormones in the female body into producing. So you produce LH and FSH as a woman in your body. FSH is your follicle stimulating hormone, and that produces estrogen and progesterone. Your LH level also produces testosterone. And in a woman's body, testosterone is only produced through your LH levels and also a little bit in your adrenal glands. So when you're taking birth control, you're taking these high levels of hormones, and so your body says, okay, I'm going to shut off. Your pituitary shuts off, and it doesn't need to produce any of its own. That is why women can't get pregnant, because it shuts off ovulation. FSH is your follicle stimulating hormone, and that's what releases the egg in your system. And so if you're shutting that off and you're not releasing that egg, then you can't get pregnant. So in doing that, your body stops producing its own hormones, and it's running on the supplementation of the birth control that you're taking in order to, feel good and to, just have those normal hormone levels. But the issue is that you're not replacing that testosterone in there also. So, testosterone has such a high function in a woman's body also, with fat burning and sleep and mood and so many other things. And so when I have people come to me that are on birth control, from a lifting, trying to burn body fat, trying to lose weight standpoint, if you don't have any testosterone in your body, that's a hard thing. And actually, there's probably a few of you who are watching who have also actually run your labs and said, here, look. And you maybe didn't believe me until we went and got your labs run, and then I pointed to you and said, here, look, while they were on birth control, and said, this is what's happening, and see these levels. And just because you're on birth control doesn't mean your levels are super high, but sometimes they are. Sometimes estrogen's sky high, progesterone's too high. Your body thinks it's pregnant half the time, especially with the Depo shot, that's super high levels of progesterone. So, we could go in depth with every single birth control that's out there, but the main thing is that you're putting these synthetic estrogen and progesterones in your body, which wreak havoc on your system, can cause anxiety, depression, acne in itself, weight gain. I'm sure all of you guys know somebody who got on the pill and gained 20 or 30 pounds in a year, depressed, and the thing is like there's so many symptoms that nobody relates back to their hormone balance. They either blame themselves or they think it's something else going on. And a lot of times it's just your hormones. Your hormones rule the way that you think, the way you feel, the way your body loses weight, so many things. And I just think it's so important that you start to learn some of this stuff about your system. So that's kind of how that works at that level there. But I've had so many women who, I'll chirp in their brains for a few months about it, and then they finally decide, okay, I'm going to get off, and then, all of a sudden they drop 15 pounds in a couple of weeks, or, one girl just dropped, 5 pounds the first week she went off, and I just have so many stories. The other issues is I also have the stories of the women who've come off birth control and felt like crap, because you know what, they've been on for so long. They come off, their body doesn't kick back in, their pituitary doesn't kick back in, they get that crash. Their body doesn't remember how to produce its own hormones, and so sometimes it takes a long time for that to kick back in and to do that. But think about, it's not going to get any easier down the road. You decide to have babies, and all of a sudden now you're going through years of just trying to get your system back up because your body doesn't know how to produce its own hormones. So you get that crash for a while. But either way, there's so many things you can do. From a supplementation, gosh, it's getting dark. From a supplementation standpoint, let's see if I can get closer to the window here. From a supplementation standpoint and through an herbal standpoint and that sort of thing too, you just have to know the right people to talk to and the right plan of action for that. And I send my clients in. I've got a few awesome people that I work with. Physicians who are great, and some people's doctors are awesome, but a lot of doctors will fight you on getting some of those lab work done. They see no reason to get it done, but I usually send people in with a list of lab work to get done, and then I read it. I don't care, if your doctor says that this range is in the normal range or that's off. It's in a woman's body, everything is a feedback loop, and your progesterone, estrogen, testosterone, thyroid, all of it plays together. So a lacking level of this leads to, a lower level of this and vice versa. And it's all so complex. So unless you can kind of look at all of it together and put the pieces together and know what to look for and know, okay, you're in the normal range, but you're normal high and this is too high and we need to bring this down. And, and then know, nutritionally, supplementation wise, how to get those levels back into balance in order to get you the results that you're looking for, to feel better. That's the thing that's really important. And I think that's the thing that a lot of people don't know how to do. And I think that's where I excel with people is just knowing what to look for and knowing how to look at labs and how to just go based off symptoms. All my female clients, they track their cycles. They tell me where they're at in their cycle when they check in. I know so-and-so is going to be up a few pounds around ovulation every month. So when she checks in, we're just going to say, all right, cool, let's stick it out a couple days. And, you know, we're not going to change your diet. It's nothing we're doing wrong, and vice versa. And I really urge everybody, all the women out there, to journal. You can download those apps and stuff and write. I always just wrote it in a notebook, but journal what you ate, journal what day of your cycle you're on, journal your symptoms. It's going to be so helpful as you go along each month, and just knowing, okay, last month I felt batshit crazy at this same time and I wanted to eat all of the cookies in the refrigerator, and I know that it's only because of my hormones. And I feel like it gives you a little bit more of a stronger mindset and the ability to really kind of like push through different issues and things that you're having, just knowing that, okay, this isn't something I did, or I don't just have a weak mindset or whatever. Like, this is normal. This is the way that I feel every month here at this time. And then just giving yourself your own peace of mind to know your own triggers and your own issues that are coming up. And then to be able to use that to help yourself. You know, if there's something that's really off, and when you go and either talk to a doctor or somebody else who can help you with your hormones, saying, this is how I feel at this time and this is what's going on at this time. And the more detail you can give somebody and yourself, the better, you know, the better that stuff is going to be. So, and then the last thing I think I want to touch on is about cellulite in a woman's body. And a lot of people assume, oh, if I have cellulite, it's just estrogen. That's not true. I've had many women who have low estrogen get tested and have a lot of cellulite. So it's usually something is a little bit off, but it's not always the estrogen. Sometimes it is. It can be thyroid, it can be testosterone, it can be a lot of other stuff. So I just kind of want to touch on that little point there. I was going to talk about some guy stuff today, but I just think I don't want to get this video too long, and I don't have as much to say on the guy side of stuff, aside from just don't always go by the normal range. And I think it's super important to get lab work done just to see where your levels are at, especially if you feel like your body isn't responding the way that you think it should and something doesn't feel right. And I will say, in terms of both male and females, if something doesn't feel right intuitively, or you don't feel like you're responding the way that you should, and you have been very, very diligent about everything that you're doing, and you know that what you're doing is correct, then keep digging. Don't give up. Don't get discouraged. There's always something more that you can do in order to figure your body out. And I think I'm too stubborn of a person that's what's enabled me to continue to push and research and find things out more and help more people, is because I won't take settling for anything when I know something isn't right or I know something is off. So I think taking that same attitude towards yourself and just finding the right people who can help you. So yeah, I hope you guys learned a few things from here. I'm totally open to any discussions that you want to have on here about anything. And if you've got questions, comments, or anything, I would love to have a discussion about that. So hope you guys thought this was awesome video and learned some stuff. And please share it if you feel like anybody else could benefit from it, or tag them in the post. Thanks.